George Holden, a professor of psychology, explained that 70 to 90% of parents hit, slap, or spank their children for misbehavior. This is a large percentage of parents that are using physical punishment as a form of discipline. Today I'm going to discuss with you 4 of the risks involved with using physical punishment. The first risk is, what is the message parents are sending to their children when they use these physical forms of punishment? The message they are sending is that violence is okay. When we're angry, mad, upset, frustrated, or somebody does something that we don't like, then we can hit them. So kids are learning that hitting is okay when angry, and parents are teaching this underlying message without even realizing it. Isn't it ironic how a parent will spank a child for hitting their sibling? So not only do we teach children that it's okay to hit when we use these physical forms of punishment, but we are also instilling a fear upon them. This fear is brought on because of the pain inflicted from being spanked or hit. The children aren't learning how to improve their behavior. The only reason they're stopping is because they are fearful of being physically punished by their parents. They're not learning right from wrong. That is the second risk involved, is that children become fearful of their parents. The third risk, in addition to fear, Dr. Andrew Grogan Kaler, Associate Professor of Social Work at the University of Michigan, came to the conclusion that spanking children actually increases antisocial behaviors instead of decreases them. Now, antisocial behaviors can include, but are not limited to, aggression, bullying, crime, depression, anxiety, abuse, etc. Now, I'm not saying that every child who is physically punished will have these antisocial behaviors, but there is an increased risk when parents use these physical punishments as a form of discipline. Usually these antisocial behaviors will occur during preschool to school age children, and sometimes they will disappear by the time that child is an adult, but this is not always the case. So as you can see with the first 3 risks, that there can be many risks involved with using physical punishment as a form of discipline. Now the fourth risk is one of importance to remember, that risk of spanking can cross the line to physical abuse. Charity Clark works for a social work office, and she said that spanking is like a gateway drug. Not all children who are spanked will be physically abused, but almost every child who is physically abused, their parents started with spanking. Because of the anger associated with it, and because parents don't know when they're crossing the line. Because where is the line? There is no blanket statement on where spanking crosses the line into physical abuse. Parents ultimately get to decide what reasonable force is, and they get to decide when spanking crosses the line to physical abuse. Some parent may think that what they're doing is perfectly fine with their child, and another parent may think that that parent is physically abusing their child. So there's always that risk of spanking leading to abuse because of the anger associated with it, and there's no definitive line of when spanking gets crossed over into physical abuse. So now that we know these 4 risks involved with using physical punishment as a form of discipline, so what? What do we need to do? What can parents do? Parents can be educated on non-physical forms of discipline. Usually, non-physical forms of discipline can work just as well, if not be more effective, than using physical forms of discipline. These non-physical forms of discipline include timeouts, rewards, praise for positive behaviors, loss of privileges/items, etc. President Hinckley, a prophet of God, once said, "I will be forever grateful for a father who never laid a hand in anger upon his children. He had the wonderful talent to let them know what was expected of them and to give the encouragement in achieving them." Close quote. I hope we can all strive to be like President Hinckley's father was and learn the new skills of non-physical forms of discipline and apply them to our lives and see how that affects our children. I also hope that parents can decrease their anger and be able to discipline their children when they have been able to calm down so that they are not using the physical forms of punishment as a last resort. One by one, we can choose not to be part of the 70 to 90% of parents that use physical punishment as a form of discipline. So thank you.